Oh, yeah, let's make some trades on fantasy football today, presented by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. I'm going to take a look at the most traded list right now. Who do you think the most traded player by? He's almost double the next most traded player. Most traded player is
Christian McCaffrey.
His teammate
Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason is number 1. Christian McCaffrey is number 2. J.K. Dobbins is number 3. We welcome you to the show, everybody. We're going to preview the Thursday night game, the Jets and the Patriots, and we're going to do some buy low, some sell high. We'll update you. Kareem Hunt signed to the practice squad, so we'll talk about that a little bit. But you know what? I had so much fun doing the Fantasy Feud to start last week's show. Let's do it again. So Jamie already knows the most added list, so he's going to be he's just going to watch. He's going to be a participant.
Laugh at us. He can be the laugh track.
Yeah, sure. Dave and Heath, go. Top 5 answers are on the board. Most added players.
Dan.
Wait, Dave, did you buzz in?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Carson Steele
Is number 1.
So you heard me buzz in, but you wanted to check and make sure maybe Dave did while you heard me talking.
And you didn't even say your name.
That's true. Yeah, you did already mess that up. I saw Dave's mouth move, but I didn't hear anything. But okay, I trusted my instincts. All right, Dave.
That's happened.
Pass or play?
I'm passing.
Okay, Heath. Carson Steele's off the board. Who are the other most added players?
Samaje Perine.
Oh, sorry. Just give me a sec. I have to get my wrong buzzer out.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Cam Akers. Awesome.
P. Ryan was 6th, by the way.
Kareem Hunt.
Okay, Dave.
Fun game.
I can't believe Kareem Hunt wasn't on the list.
He's 7th.
We have a smart audience.
I'm gonna go with the Raiders DST.
They are number 5. Congratulations.
That was a fun game.
Also on the most added list, Carson Steele 1, Quentin Johnston 2, Mike Gesicki 3. Be careful if T. Higgins plays, that could be trouble. Derek Carr 4, Raiders DST is 5. That's not, by the way, most rostered amongst the most added players. That's the players who have seen the biggest gain in roster percentage. Carson Steele is now 55% rostered. All right, a quick, fun word of advice. If you play in a Fab League on CBS, turn on, if your league is cool with it, turn on that little see full Fab report option. It's really cool. And you get to see, like, did I spend way too much money because the next highest bid was like $13 less than mine? You get to see all that stuff. It's cool to take a look. You'll enjoy it. All right. Buy low, sell high. Who wants to go first? Buy lows.
I got a couple.
Yeah.
At quarterback, Joe Burrow, and at tight end, Travis Kelce.
All right. Let's talk about Joe Burrow real quick here. What do you expect rest of season?
I expect him to eventually start throwing deeper. I expect his receiving core to get healthier. I expect his offensive line to get better. I do not expect the Bengals run game to be strong. And I think Joe Burrow is going to be able to have more games like he had in week 2. The problem is that trying to buy low on him, the timing isn't great because he just had a good game in week number 2. So you might need to wait one more week in case he struggles in week 3.
What? You don't get the Washington game?
Okay, fine. It's too late. The buy window, the easy buy window is closed. Maybe you can still squeeze out some value getting him at this point, but I think he can still be. What was one of my big bold predictions at the beginning of the year? It was that Joe Burrow could be the fantasy MVP. He can still do that even after a bad week 1 and a solid week 2. Actually, a good week 2 considering how fantasy QBs have been playing this year. But still averaging under 20 fantasy points per game. I think Joe Burrow is someone who you can maybe it's a buy high, Adam.
It's not that he didn't have that good of a game. I mean, he was fine. He was 21.2 fantasy points. So I think the buy low is still there. And get Higgins back, get Washington and Carolina the next 2 games, get the Giants in 4 weeks. All right, Burrow. Kelce is
he definitely got something in his hand on that sneeze.
Oh, he sneezed into gross. Oh man, you gotta sneeze into your elbow, man. Come on, even my kids.
Sneeze into his elbow, his shirt would be ruined.
My jacket would be ruined. This jacket cost me $15,000 in tuition. Who are we talking about?
Kelce.
I need to go wash my hands.
How many tight ends?
If the Chiefs can't run the ball, with Carson Steele / Kareem Hunt / Samaje Perine / Clyde Woods-Helaire. This might happen anyway, even if they can run the ball a little bit with those guys. Everything's going to fall on Mahomes, and he's going to need to throw. And those short throws that were missing, Travis Kelce, are going to come back, and his target volume will go right back up. He had a touch back last week, nearly a touchdown last week. I still view him as like a top 2 tight end the rest of the season. And so if the guy that kills senior fantasy league is all fun because he's not putting up fantasy points, alleviate him of that sadness and acquire Travis Kelce. And
Okay.
Be right back.
Okay, good stuff.
The only problem when we try to trade tight ends is like you got to have something on your team to replace Travis Kelce with if you're giving him up, or you're giving him a tight end that's clearly better than Kelce at the moment.
Well, yeah. Well, you could you could trade McBride and a wide receiver 2 for Kelce and a wide receiver 1.
I'm not saying that's the scenario, right? So you got to feel that McBride is not going to be as good as Kelce is.
No, you don't have to do that. You could just.
You're saying you're getting a significant upgrade at wide receiver?
Yes. Something like that.
I guess so.
And then your thought would be that McBride and Kelce aren't that different. But that would I'm not saying I'm saying that would be the philosophy. Yeah, Mahomes, I mean, I said this on Beyond the Box Score. I said this yesterday. Mahomes has thrown fewer than 30 passes for 2 straight games for the first time in 3 seasons. Kelce has 7 combined targets in 2 games. That's his lowest in a 2-game stretch for the first and since 2016. So we're just hoping for more target volume there. Okay, Heath, you want to go? Give me some buy lows.
I think we've had this guy as a buy low for like 5 years in a row at some point during the season. Lamar Jackson, I think, might just be the number 1 quarterback the rest of the way. He has 108 more passing and rushing yards than any other quarterback so far this season. He's averaging 260 passing yards per game, which is a career high, and 80 rushing yards per game. His touchdowns have always been kind of sporadic. I think last year, early in the year, we were worried about his touchdown rate, and he finished with a 5% touchdown rate and had 5 touchdowns in the fantasy championship to win people championships. I expect he's going to be one of the league-winning quarterbacks again this year. He's currently QB6. And I'd like to go by Lamar Jackson.
And Lamar Jackson has 34 or more pass attempts in consecutive games for the 5th time in his career and the first time since 2021. It's just a different offense, at least through 2 games. They were 16th in pass rate one week. They were 14th in pass rate another week. So you're getting just a lot more pass volume from the Ravens than we're ever used to seeing. Anyone else, or you want to go to Jamie?
I'm buying dirt cheap on Michael Pittman. I think like a lot of people were lower than me and they look absolutely correct. And I was too high on Michael Pittman, but they were lower on me and then they've lowered him even more. And so the perception is that Michael Pittman's just like a flex or a bench wide receiver. And I still think he's probably a number 3 wide receiver, still has a 30% target share in this offense. I'd like to go get Michael Pittman really cheap.
Okay, but you wouldn't give up Jamison Williams for Pittman, right?
No.
Would you give up JSN for Pittman?
Yes.
Okay. Jamie, who's a buy low or 2?
I have all receivers. DJ Moore, Chris Olave, and Garrett Wilson.
All right, I can get it with Olave and Wilson. What's up with DJ Moore?
Well, I mean, look, the first 2 weeks have been brutal in terms of matchups. So Caleb Williams has struggled. He's looked like a rookie quarterback. Offensive line's been a disaster. But really, I mean, you're playing a very good Titan secondary and a very good Texans secondary. And so now you get to play the Colts. And I think things are going to lighten up, especially if Keenan Allen's still dealing with this heel injury. So like the setup for DJ Moore this week, and we'll see what happens moving forward, especially if Allen is still going to struggle to get on the field. But, I mean, look, he's too talented to continue to do this. I wasn't the biggest DJ Moore supporter this offseason. I thought he would struggle from a target perspective and dealing with a rookie quarterback, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. I think it will start to improve as the matchups get a little easier.
And here are those matchups: at Indy, Rams, Panthers, Jaguars overseas. They take a bye after that, and then at Washington, week 9 at Arizona. How's that for a runway for DJ Moore to get right for fantasy managers, and really for Caleb Williams to get right too? Put the buy low sticker on both those guys.
Yeah, you'd like to see a little bit more from Caleb Williams. Plus, we still have, Keenan Allen got so many targets in week 1, didn't play in week 2. But, okay, would you trade Jordan Mason for DJ Moore?
If I had enough running back depth,
Yeah.
I would aim higher than DJ Moore or Jordan Mason right now.
Right. But if that's the best you could do in
Then I wouldn't make a trade.
You wouldn't?
No.
If I've got the running back depth, I would.
Man, you're talking about a number 1 running back probably. Like he's going to be, you would think he's going to be a top 12 running back while McCaffrey's out, right?
Yeah, but and this is obviously the problem with Jordan Mason is you don't know when Christian McCaffrey is going to come back. Is it going to be week 7? Is it going to be week 10? And so you do take that risk when you give up Jordan Mason for DJ Moore, but I think DJ Moore is going to end up being a number 2 wide receiver this year.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I obviously have no expertise, but for McCaffrey, it has just gotten worse, right? It's 2 injuries, mostly the Achilles, I think now. And I just don't really want to trade Jordan Mason unless I'm getting a stud. We should probably talk about him since he's the most traded player. Like DJ Moore doesn't do it for me. Chris Olave would, but Heath, you want to jump in?
I was thinking Garrett Wilson probably would, but again, like you could make the argument that Garrett Wilson just looks a lot like Garrett Wilson has the last couple of years. And are you just getting a number 3 wide receiver?
Make that argument. It's true.
So I'm probably just writing it out with Jordan Mason.
All right.
It's kind of like, I don't think I'm dealing him.
All right, everybody. Well, listen, we've got some great programming for you on the weekends. We have the mailbag that airs on Saturday, recorded on Friday. We also have a ton of content for you on Sunday morning to help you get ready. If you watch CBS Sports HQ at 10 a.m., Jamie's on there. At 11:30 a.m., youtube.com/fantasy football today. We are answering a ton of your questions. That's me, Dave, and Heath for 90 minutes, just answering start-sit questions and updating you on injuries and inactives. It was very helpful because we had the A.J. Brown news during the show. And so we will help you live answer your start-sit questions and get your lineup set. And when we come back, we already told you who to buy low on. Let me recap it for you. It was Burrow and Kelce for Dave, Lamar Jackson and Pittman for Heath, DJ Moore, Chris Olave, and Garrett Wilson for Jamie. And obviously Olave, Jamie, just to speak for you, Olave and Wilson a tier ahead of DJ Moore still, right?
Correct.
Okay. And when we come back, we'll tell you who we're selling right now on Fantasy Football Today. We'll be right back.
CBS Sports HQ, giving you college football coverage unlike anyone else.
We're talking Big Ten.
Pre- and post-game coverage.
Are you encouraged with the way that this team responded?
Along with breaking news.
A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
Highlights and expert analysis.
That streak could be in jeopardy here.
Sure. What was your main takeaway from this game? How impressive was his domination?
That really changed the football game.
Let's go ahead and have some more fun.
Another wild ending.
The chaos continues.
Turn to CBS Sports HQ.
Welcome back. Okay, let's get into the sell highs here. I'm going to let Heath Cummings go first. You ready, Heath?
I'm ready, but I hate this.
Okay.
Because some of the best sell highs are probably the most fun stories from the start of the season. Like J.K. Dobbins is the number 4 running back in fantasy and averaging 10 yards per rush attempt. Probably, and has this terrible injury history. You're probably smarter and better off if you can go deal J.K. Dobbins to a true believer for and I think you're going to need to get something like a Garrett Wilson or a Chris Olave or something like that. But I think he's definitely a sell high, and I don't like it.
It's okay. Man, I would love to get Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave right now, for a guy that I took in the 11th round or something. It's great.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But I think also he's probably one of the most fun stories of the season. Like what's better than that?
The Saints.
Yeah, and I'd probably sell Derek Carr too if somebody believes that Derek Carr is going to be like an upper half QB1. They've been absolutely awesome, but it's 2 games and it's probably not going to be this good.
All right, Jamie, you're up. Sell highs.
I would sell high on Alvin Kamara. I would sell high on Aaron Jones. I would sell high on James Conner.
They're too old.
They are too old.
You're just worried they're going to break down?
I mean, at some point.
I don't know. Here's the thing. Like, look who's injured right now, right? Like, there's some old guy. Cup got hurt. But Nakua's hurt. AJ Brown is hurt. Debo Samuel's hurt.
It's not just that old guys get hurt, but old guys have a more likely chance to get hurt.
I don't know if that's true. I know that's kind of a narrative, but again, like young guys get hurt all the time. So
they definitely do. Football players get hurt, but older football players get hurt more.
I mean, look, Kamara was RB4 per game last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's probably RB1. I'm guessing.
He's averaging 33 PPR points per game.
He would be the offensive player of the year if there was the award given out after 2 weeks.
So let's talk. So what would you want to get? Would you want to get Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson for Alvin Kamara?
Yes, both.
You're going to need both to get fair value.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're first of all, you're selling him, you have to get. I would be looking for Christian McCaffrey and one of those elite receivers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to King's ransom.
The market, sell high. Otherwise, keep them.
Oh, it's a good question here in the chat. Who's the most injury prone? Adam, Heath, Dave, or Jamie?
Man, I wake up with sore ankles.
Does sickness count?
I have a little bit of a cold.
So if sickness counts, it's definitely Adam.
Yeah, I've been. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I got very injured this summer playing sports, but I played through it. I didn't miss a single game, and I already have a torn labrum in my shoulder, so it's probably me.
It was softball
and tennis, but yeah, like I got hurt. I mean, every week at softball, I got hurt. Like, oh, I banged my knee up, something like that. But yeah, I played through it once a week. Aaron Jones, James Conner. Okay, I'm going to look at some of the most traded players. Would you trade Aaron Jones or James Conner for Brandon Ayuk?
Oh, yes.
Jones, yes. Conner, no.
Yeah, especially with Debo hurt right now, 100%.
Would you trade Aaron Jones or James Conner for Jamison Williams?
Jones, yes. Conner, no.
Right.
I think I'd keep both running backs.
Do you like them better than Ramondre Stevenson rest of season?
No.
I like Stevenson better.
Okay.
I'd take Stevenson.
My bad. Dave, you're up.
On a sell high, Davante Adams just had a turn back the clock game in week number 2. Do you believe that he's going to keep doing that? Or do you get him off your team as fast as you can for the same type of reasons that Jamie just laid out? It's the Grandma Gilmore argument. He's too old. But also, his quarterback isn't that good. And he's going to need crazy high volume week in and week out in order for him to return the value of where you took him in that round 3-ish range. It's where you should have gotten him. And he's still going to be a popular wide receiver. Is he top 12 in my trade chart? He's not. He's outside of it. He's top 15.
Yeah,
but
and Adams
I
has.
wonder if you can get a little bit more. You can certainly get more for him now than you could a week ago, but you might be able to get more for him now than you could have after your draft.
It's not a bad call because look at the schedule. Carolina, like they have a bad secondary. Raiders probably won't be able to run on them, so whatever. But Carolina is week 3. Cleveland at Denver, Pittsburgh in weeks 4, 5, 6.
Won't be able to run on Carolina.
I don't know.
I mean,
yeah, obviously it's like the worst run defense, one of the worst run defense, but also looks like one of the worst run offenses.
I don't know. After what Antonio Pierce said on Monday, I think they're going to try their damnedest to run as much as they can.
They're going to try. Good luck. They might be able to, but I'm just saying after that, Cleveland, Denver, Pittsburgh, that's a rough stretch. I'm pretty sure he tore up Denver last year, though. I don't think he did it on Surtain, but he was good against Denver last season. But something to keep in mind if you believe in the schedules. Denver last year he scored 12.6 fantasy points and 15 points. It's actually not that good. 15.6 fantasy points against Denver last year, 2 games, around 14 points per game. All right, Davante Adams. Anyone else? Are we good?
I could make the argument for Devon Achane, but I'm not saying that you should. If there's somebody else in your league who's fallen in love with him and you can get the same type of return on Achane that you could get on Kamara, like what we talked about with Alvin Kamara, then you should probably consider something like that. 2 weeks into the season, there's a quarterback change in Miami. Achane's been on the injury report. He's been amazing. He is so much fun to watch. But Raheem Mostert will eventually come back. That'll take a little bit of work away from him. And I don't know if Skylar Thompson can keep unlocking him. And I don't know if he himself is going to stay healthy for the next 15 games to be on the field for your team.
So I think Achane fits it.
If you can get a haul for Achane, he's number 2 right now among running backs in PPR points per game. It needs to be a haul.
Okay.
I'd be looking to sell Tyreek Hill too.
The problem with selling Tyreek Hill is that I think a lot of fantasy managers are already downgrading him because of the.
I'm sure that they are, but like I looked at our rankings. You two guys still have him as top 4 wide receiver, so that's not a pretty steep downgrade if that's how people are going to view him. I'm not saying you're wrong, but that's
where'd you put him?
Huh?
Where did you rank Tyreek?
Oh, he's 9. I mean, but slower.
Okay.
I mean, this is the guy that was 1 or 2 coming into the season. So, I'm certainly a little bit more concerned than you guys are for this week. And if I can still sell somebody on Tyreek Hill, oh, he's going to be fine. Look what 2 other people have him ranked. Like that's something I would be looking to do.
I think it's so hard at wide receiver too because like half of the top 15 are hurt. So there's no the blob that was supposed to be from wide receiver 12 to 30 is now like wide receiver 6 to 18 or something.
Right, but if you drafted Tyreek and still ended up with Metcalf and Jamison Williams and Rashid Shaheed late, you just like your receiving core across the board and you need running back help. I mean, to turn Tyreek into something at that position, I think would be smart.
Are you guys expecting Tua to play in 5 weeks?
No.
Yeah. Hoping, not expecting at this point.
We got a no, we got a yeah, and we got a hoping. So that's where we are with Tua. We simply do not know. We'll talk about, I have a question here about Christian McCaffrey. We'll get
and the minute Jalen Waddle had a good game, I'd be selling him.
Yeah, I think we probably missed that. But yeah, week 7 when Tua's back, hopefully. No, I'm just kidding. I'm very worried about Waddle. I think.
Well, he can't play till week 8, Tua.
Week 8, whatever it is. But what was I saying? Who did I say I might start over? Oh, I said I might start JSN over Waddle this week. Like I have.
Waddle's not in my top 40.
Okay, so
I'm terrified.
Not by myself there. Listen, if you haven't signed up for the BetMGM app yet, do it. Let's go. Use the bonus code FANTASY. You're going to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. It's a great offer. Here's how it works. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FANTASY. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll get up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use the bonus code FANTASY when you sign up. And when you do that, you're telling BetMGM, hey, I listened to the Fantasy Football Today podcast. So that's really cool, too. All right, here's a question from Dalton. What's fair value on Christian McCaffrey right now?
He is currently RB, I'm counting 13 on the trade chart.
I think that's more than I'd give. I was thinking 18 to 20.
Wow.
Who would you rather have rest of season, McCaffrey or Dobbins? Dobbins is someone in that 18 to 20 range.
What's my record?
What's your record? You're 1-1.
I'm probably just holding.
You're
I think it seems like there's a pretty decent chance that like you got to make it to week 8 or 9 now before you get Christian McCaffrey. Maybe later.
Man, it's a tough one. Hopefully, like if Dobbins was a bench player for you, then it makes sense. If Dobbins is in your starting lineup, it's harder, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. Here are some news and notes. The Chiefs signed Kareem Hunt to their practice squad. Heath, you did not weigh in on the show yesterday on the Chiefs running backs. We know Carson Steele is the most added player. Samaje Perine, I think, is the 7th most added player. Kareem Hunt is up there as well. What do you think going forward?
I don't think I'm probably going to get any of them based on some of the bids that I saw, but I expect Carson Steele's going to handle early downs and short yardage, and Samaje Perine's going to handle passing downs, and Kareem Hunt's kind of an insurance policy and maybe an upside play if somehow he's still got some juice left for a couple of weeks. It worries me a little bit that like in actual football games, we've not seen Carson Steele do anything good yet. And he did lose a fumble already because we've started that counter for a rookie. But 15 carries for Carson Steele, 7 to 8 touches for Samaje Perine.
I got a lot of Clyde overnight. Put him on an IR spot so you don't have to drop anybody. And
he's only one person. How much could you get?
He's got 3.
Yeah, is he? Have you seen anything?
No. And I have no idea.
I don't even know. It's not like I feel pretty confident he's going to play week 5.
No, but Andy Reid said that he was, quote, part of the equation for for being in the backfield. So the fact that he didn't immediately shut down the idea of Clyde coming back after his NFI stint might lend some optimism that he'll go in there and give you 3.5 yards of carry and probably drop a pass in there as well.
Yeah. But I think in week 5, there's a chance he's the starter. So
there's definitely a chance. And look, you have an IR spot. It's well worth it, to be speculating.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Heath. I think we're going to see those two guys. Like there was a couple leagues where I picked up Kareem Hunt just because I had open roster spots to speculate. But if Steele or P. Ryan were available, those were easily my two targets. Like I really want nothing to do with Kareem Hunt. To me, it feels like Dalvin Cook in Dallas. Same thing.
All right, Tua's on IR. Pittsburgh is preparing for Justin Fields to start.
Surprised by that. I saw your fab bid in our dynasty league.
I open roster spot for 14-team dynasty league.
A quarter of your fab?
When does anybody ever become anything in that league? Like I usually spend most of my fab before the season starts.
Yeah.
Plus I'm the Pacheco owner and I have manager and I have P. Ryan. So it was easy for me to just see if there's something there.
Makes sense. Yes.
All right, sorry. Back to the news here. Tua's on IR. Pittsburgh preparing for Justin Fields to start. Colts defensive tackle DeForest Buckner is on IR. That's a big deal. It's he hasn't missed a game in 3 seasons, but last year the Colts allowed almost a full yard per carry more to running backs when Buckner was off the field compared to on the field. Green Bay running back Marshawn Lloyd is going on IR, right?
Yes, he's on IR.
He wasn't on IR in my league, so I don't know if it's happened yet, but okay, Marshawn Lloyd will be on IR. Jets linebacker CJ Mosley missed practice, probably not going to play Thursday against the Patriots, and the Browns signed Royce Freeman to their practice squad. Let's rank them rest of season. Ready? Brian Robinson Jr., J.K. Dobbins, Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre, Dobbins, Brian Robinson.
Same.
Ramondre, Robinson, Dobbins.
Ramondre. Okay, so Ramondre's ahead of Brian Robinson. Ramondre's the best in this group.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to this one. Jonathan Brooks or a couple of round 5, 6, maybe 7 wide receivers who have been terrible so far. Jonathan Brooks, Amari Cooper, Christian Kirk. Rank them rest of season. Brooks, Amari Cooper, Kirk.
Cooper's still going to be at the top of that list for me. And I'll take Kirk next.
Brooks, Cooper, Kirk.
Brooks, Cooper, Kirk.
Question. If Carolina is like 0-6 or whatever, do they have the motivation to bring back a less than 100% Jonathan Brooks?
I don't know why he would still be less than 100%. Like,
I mean, if Jacksonville's 0-6, are they going to shut down Christian Kirk?
Well,
one of them's playing. One of them is a definite part of the future.
I mean, I think they want to see what they have in Brooks. Why would they not play?
I just don't want them to rush him.
I think that Andy Dalton is going to make this entire offense look much more competent.
Agreed.
It's going to be it's very bad if he doesn't.
The thing with Kirk, Cooper at least is getting a targets. He has 17 targets. He's having a terrible year. He had a drop in both games. I don't know if they officially count as drops, but chances for a big chunk play in both games. One of them would have been a touchdown, but he's off to a bad start. Kirk, though, 7 targets, 2 catches for 29 yards.
Yeah.
And this is one where it's like you could go through all these explanations. You can watch all the tape and all that, but just look at what Christian Kirk has been on this offense over the last 2 seasons and how is it not going to turn around for Christian Kirk? It doesn't make any sense. And they're playing 3 receiver sets like 80% of the time. Maybe that goes down, but he's played like 88% of the snaps in week 2. So I don't know. I mean, it's not an exciting buy low, but it's kind of like Michael Pittman. It can't be this bad for Christian Kirk.
Current target leader for the Jacksonville Jaguars is Gabe Davis, and he's awful. There's absolutely no reason for the Jaguars to keep him scooting downfield. He's not explosive. He's got some awareness issues. He doesn't have the most reliable hands.
Kevin Harlan kept saying in the opener how every time he dropped the ball, Christian Kirk, He's dealing with this calf injury. I wonder if he's not 100%. Could be part of this.
Yeah.
At this point, you're hearing Doug Peterson might get fired, and that might be what they need in Jacksonville, is just a different voice, because Trevor Lawrence is regressing again, or maybe he just stinks, one of the two. But he's not playing well. The offense is stagnant. They're wacky play calls. It doesn't seem as if like there's a direction here.
I didn't think Kirk looked slow on his snaps last week. I did think that maybe when he gets out of his breaks, it takes him a little extra second to get moving, and that could be an issue. But Adam, I think you nailed it. 7 targets in 2 games. That's not anywhere close to what we expected.
But you don't look at what he's done on those 7 targets and think, man, you know how we turn things around is just turn it to the guy who's caught 2 of 7 targets for 29 yards.
Well, he's probably got 2 for 60 on drops alone, which is just, it's just weird. He had at least 2 drops he had 2 drops in week 1. I don't know if he had one in week 2.
He's credited with 2 drops on the season. He had a touchdown called back in week 2.
He did. Yep.
I don't think he's definitely not their best wide receiver. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be a monster for them. He was open so often, and Trevor Lawrence either missed him or was under pressure, and he was throwing to Gabe Davis, and that was gross. But they're eventually going to get Brian Thomas figured out. I don't know if you can buy low on Brian Thomas, but if you can get him on your team, go get him, because I think he's going to be awesome there. And I think Christian Kirk will be better.
Yeah, I have a team with Calvin Ridley, and that's somebody that I want to sell high on, because he had a rushing touchdown last week. He made an unbelievable catch,
right?
But it's for like a 40-yard touchdown on Sauce Gardner. But I just think Will Levis looks bad, and I'm nervous about it. So, I would try to turn Ridley into Christian Kirk and something. Obviously, it's not going to be something great with it, but I don't really know that there's going to be a huge difference between Kirk and Ridley rest of the season. We were drafting them basically the same. It's like Kirk, again, it's been 2 straight years of him being a very reliable player for Trevor Lawrence. You have to get something else, but I don't know.
I agree.
All right, let me move on here. Okay. Next up, rank them rest of season. Rashee Rice, Travis Etienne, Saquon Barkley.
And I guess I still have Etienne over Rice, but it might just be because of the positional scarcity at running back.
Barkley, Rice, Etienne.
Yeah.
Rice, Barkley, Etienne.
How about Rashee Rice's 44-yard touchdown catch, 36 air yards, by far the most of any reception in his career.
Yep.
It was his first touchdown catch of more than 8 yards. But he's still running super short routes. He does what he does. He's really good. So Rice, Etienne, Barkley, we have 3 different answers there.
He's a top 10 receiver rest of season. There's no question about it. And if he continues putting up plays like he did in week 2, that long touchdown, he's going to be awesome. He'll be better than top 10. We could talk about him as top 5, maybe.
Well, that's the thing is, I think Dave's buy low on Travis Kelce was probably right. But if Travis Kelce, he looks old. If he just is aging and just not that guy, then those extra short area targets might just mean that Rashee Rice leads the NFL in targets.
Heath, you watch these Chiefs games closer than anybody. Do you think he looks older than he did last year?
No, but we were supposed to be excusing how old he looked last year because he was playing hurt.
I don't think he looks old necessarily. I just watched his routes. It's just one person's opinion. I have no idea, but I think it's the mustache, Heath, that's making you say that.
Oh, okay.
If anything, it's just that is an old look, that mustache.
Are you ever going to be able to grow a mustache?
I don't think so. We're coming up on 2 weeks, so a week and a half here. The beard's looking okay. I hate this thing though. It's so itchy. I'm hot. I absolutely hate it. So I think Friday will be the day where I debut the mustache. And I'll be on CBS Sports Network for the national audience to see. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, actually, you want to just give me an answer? No explanation. Rank them rest of season. Anthony Richardson, Patrick Mahomes, CJ Stroud.
Mahomes, Stroud, Richardson.
Richardson, Mahomes, Stroud.
Mahomes, Richardson, Stroud.
Okay, great. Consensus. We'll take a break. Jets and Patriots when we come back on FFT. All right, it's time for Thursday Night Football. All right, the Jets are actually 25th in points allowed. The Patriots are 5th. Jets are 17th in yards per play allowed. The Patriots are 15th. I don't really have a stat of the game. Going to sit Jacoby Brissett. What about Ramondre Stevenson? As of yesterday, everybody had him in the top 16. Jamie, starter sit Ramondre Stevenson.
Must start. I mean, he's been the Patriots' best player. He's certainly been great for fantasy managers, despite the fact that Antonio Gibson also had 91 yards rushing last week. Ramondre was still a star. So this offensive line has played better than we expected. They've been in games in the 2 weeks that they've been on the field, and so it's been fun to watch. And he's taken to this new system. He's doing a great job. I still don't think we've seen the ceiling for his involvement in the passing game. At least I hope not. So I mean, especially Mosley's out. This defense is getting beaten up very badly by the Jets right now.
And it's a short week on top of that. He's 9th right now in PPR points per game at 19.3. Man, I was wrong on this guy. I really thought that game script plus the offensive line plus like maybe a little bit of talent would sink Ramondre Stevenson, but no, he's been awesome. Lots and lots of work. Second among running backs in total touches on the season. Do you know who's first?
Yes. Oh, no.
Barkley
is correct. He has one more touch than Ramondre Stevenson. So that's a little bit of it too. He's getting much more work, but he's also very effective with it. Keep it rolling with Ramondre.
All right. He is among 39 running backs with 15 or more carries. Stevenson is 6th in avoid rate. He's getting almost no yards before contact, but he's getting a lot after contact. He's making guys miss, doing a nice job. Let's do so. Ramondre Stevenson, certainly over Jalen Waddle.
Oh, yes.
Wouldn't start him over Tyreek Hill, would you?
No.
I don't think so.
But he's not a flex. He's a top 15 running back.
Okay. Well, I'm playing in a 1 QB, 1 running back, 1 flex league. So just checking. Dobbins or Ramondre?
Ramondre.
Okay. And Pittman against the Bears or Ramondre?
Oh, stop it.
What?
Yeah. You know what? I'm sorry. DJ Moore against the Colts is what I should.
Well, he's not a flex. He's a must-start running back.
All right. You know what? There's not a lot in this game. There's not a lot. It's an easy game. So you know what? We won't spend that much time on it. That's fine. You're not starting a Patriots.
There's 3 must-start players.
Yeah. Okay. Then let's go to Hunter Henry. You're not starting a Patriots receiver, right? So let's go to Hunter Henry here. Coming off a huge game, 8 catches, 109 yards on 12 targets, and he had a 35-yard catch on a screen pass. They were screening him up. And what do you think about Hunter Henry this week against the Jets, who were pretty good against Kittle, and that's the only significant tight end they faced?
I think he's a must-start tight end if you need somebody.
Here's the one I struggle with. Would you sit Dalton Kincaid for him?
Yes.
I'm not ready to do that.
I'm not dropping Kincaid to pick up Henry yet.
Right.
Most likely.
I can't believe yet was in that sentence. But I mean, it's kind of
it's you got to have a pretty big bench to carry 2 tight ends, I think. If you're not completely sold on the second one. And so if I had both, I would start Henry over Kincaid. I have Henry ranked higher than Kincaid this week.
Yeah, I had Henry higher in the projections, and I just moved Kincaid higher in the rankings, but I don't necessarily feel good about it. There's just not anything really to like about Dalton Kincaid based on the first 2 weeks, but it's hard to start a guy that was on the waiver wire over a guy that went in round 5.
Right.
In week 3.
We've seen.
I would start him over Andrews too.
I've seen 1 week of Hunter Henry looking amazing and 1 week of Hunter Henry looking like Hunter Henry. Week 1 is definitely in the range of outcomes for what Henry can do statistically.
Yep.
That's what worries me about Henry.
Question in the chat: start Henry over Likely?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got Likely over Henry right now.
Okay. And start it. You know what? I hope you're right, Jamie, because I did pick up Hunter Henry in a few leagues. I watched the tape, and they were very, very intentional getting him involved, and he was doing a nice job. But he's Hunter Henry. Like we know who Hunter Henry is. To start him over Mark Andrews is bonkers to be. Okay. Anyway, I hope you're right. I'm rooting for Hunter Henry. Let's go to Aaron Rodgers. He is, try to sit him. I don't know if people have Aaron Rodgers questions. If you do, fire away in the chat. But I'm gonna move on. Brees Hall.
Yeah, there's I think there's 3 streamers I'd start over him.
Who?
Derek Carr, Gardner Minshew, Sam Darnold.
Geno?
Does he count?
Yeah.
If Derek Carr counts, then Geno counts.
I've got Geno ahead of him too.
I would start Carr over him. I'd start Geno over him. I would start Deshaun Watson over him this week too.
Okay, so we're trying to avoid Aaron Rodgers. He's around 18th in the rankings. Start Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson. All right, so he's not really in the top 12 he is for Heath, barely. But unless the rankings have changed since yesterday, he's 16th for Jamie, 15th for Dave. So Dave, like Garrett Wilson, is there a scenario where you would sit him?
Let's see. If you've got Godwin and Neighbors with Garrett Wilson, I would sit him. If you've got Davante Smith, as long as there's
You'd start Neighbors against the Browns over Garrett Wilson?
I'm starting a guy that's going to have like a 40% target share every week over Garrett Wilson.
He's not going to have a 40% target share every week. Nobody has a 40% target share every week.
He's going to have one this week against Cleveland. And
But didn't he have 64% target share last week?
Yes.
He's right. It's not going to happen. You want to say 30? That would probably lead the league.
Fine. Maybe I'm exaggerating with a 40% target share, but 30% is still amazing, and he's going to have it. Because there's nothing else that this Giants team can really do but throw to Neighbors.
They can't kick field goals. Or
Yeah, they can. They got Greg Joseph.
Yeah, now they can't. They just
Boca Raton's own Greg Joseph.
Oh, nice. All right. So Rashee Rice, you could obviously that's a guy that you could start over Garrett Wilson. But Heath, you're the high guy on Wilson. You do have him in the top 12.
Yeah, it's more of a product of how I felt about the position this week than it's just kind of holding on to what I thought about Garrett Wilson before the season. He's one of those guys, and there's several of them that if we get to week 3 and it's still 11 fantasy points, then I'm gonna have to make some adjustments.
This reminds me of a stat that I wanted to drop, and I'm going to say it slowly because it's a little in depth. Over the last 5 years, there have been only 6 wide receivers who have finished top 20 in either PPR points per game or total PPR points scored that did not have a game in the first 3 weeks with 15 or more PPR points. So in other words, slow start for wide receivers equals uphill climb to be a top 20 fantasy receiver by the end of the year.
Yeah, that said, CeeDee Lamb had a pretty slow. I don't know if it was that slow, but CeeDee Lamb had a pretty disappointing start to the year last year, and then he ended up as wide receiver 1. But this is what I'm saying. I am a Christian Gonzalez believer. I think he's pretty good, and he'll probably cover Wilson a lot.
He blew coverage on DK last
week. Mentally, yes, was terrible in that regard. But I don't know if that was his fault or what. But you got Gonzalez this week. You've got Surtain next week. So if I don't have Garrett Wilson, I am rooting so hard against him this week and next week. And then I'm just making every buy low offer in the world after he faces Snead, Gonzalez, and Surtain in 3 straight weeks.
I did look it up just for the sake of Dave's stat. CeeDee Lamb had 25 fantasy points in week 2 last year.
Yeah, but his first 5 or 6 games were just,
right. But he just said that
I know
you need to score 15 or more in the first 3 weeks.
Right. If you even have 15 in one of the first 3 games, you've got a shot to completely bounce back. Of course you do. But it's this weird track record over the last 5 years. No one did it last year.
It's a great stat. So what do we think about Lazard, Conklin? No, right?
No. I mean, maybe
Lazard over any Patriot wide receiver.
And which DST do you guys like better?
Jets.
It's still the Jets, but I'm not as psyched about them. They're still top 12, but not as psyched as normal. It's more because of who they're playing. I think this is going to be a ton of rushing from both teams.
Did DJ Reed practice? He did. He practiced in full. Okay, that's good. So their secondary is healthy, but no Jermaine Johnson, obviously. CJ Mosley probably not going to play. Streamer DSC, would you start the Raiders over the Jets?
Yep.
Yeah.
Over the Jets? I would not. No.
And the Jets have Denver next week, so keep that in mind if you don't want to lose them for that matchup next week. Go ahead.
Why would we sit the Jets against the Patriots? Just because they're going to run so much?
Well, the Jets are, they're missing maybe their best pass rusher. They're missing their best linebacker.
2 best pass rushers.
Well, Reddick.
They still got a ton of pressure last week, even without Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah.
I think they'll be okay there. Mosley would be the bigger concern for me. And he's 50-50 to play.
All right. That's Thursday Night Football. Okay, I've got a new category. I just some stats I want to give here. Then we'll do some fill in the blank, and then we'll read your emails to end the show. If anybody can tell me what movie I'm referencing in the chat, what movie am I referencing? We will answer your question. This category is called Hats for Stats. Keep stats warm. Okay, Ryan Heath, who Heath loves because his name is Heath and he has great stats.
Fantastic.
On Twitter. Devin Singletary and J.K. Dobbins right now are maybe 1 and 2 in missed tackles forced. He put the chart up of missed tackles forced. Dobbins, not a surprise. Devin Singletary, though, is up there.
He's very good.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what he's been doing his whole career. It's like his top trait.
Jay wins. I was referencing Major League. Jay, if you have a question, ask it in the chat. We'll read it. Hats for bats. Keep bats warm. Remember that?
Of course.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, also, I looked at True Media. Devin Singletary, Ken Walker, and J.K. Dobbins lead all running backs in avoid rate. Ezekiel Elliott and Gus Edwards, this might blow your mind. They have not been credited with an avoided tackle yet. Ezekiel Elliott and Gus Edwards. Here's something I want to bring up.
And yet, Ezekiel Elliott is averaging more yards per touch this season than DeAndre Swift.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Tennessee running backs in the first half last week. Okay, we know Spears got hurt. Pollard had 7 carries. Spears had 6. Pollard had 2 catches. Spears had 2. Almost positive Spears played more snaps than Tony Pollard in the first half of that game. That, if you're looking at Tony Pollard's value right now, do you think it's inflated because of the injury to Spears, which he seems to be okay?
I think it's inflated because he's been better.
Yeah, he's just a lot better.
Well, he has been better, but I'm saying it was a very even split last week before the injury.
Like, why would you not lean more on Pollard right now?
It's only 2 games. I mean, Spears is, we think, still very talented. But fair enough. Okay, just want to bring that up. Top 5 quarterbacks in drop percentage. Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, Daniel Jones. They have dealt with the most drops percentage-wise. Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, Daniel Jones. Okay. Top 6 teams in percentage of snaps with 3 or more receivers on the field. Rams.
I got an answer for your Titans running backs, by the way.
Okay, we'll come right back to that.
Fine.
Rams, Panthers, Browns, Titans, Colts, and Jaguars.
All the juggernauts.
Yeah, well, so how many of them are we seeing a big difference in terms of 3 receiver sets? Tennessee was 27th last year. They're 4th this year. Jacksonville was 19th this year. They're 6th. They're last year, 19th, 6th this year. The other 4 teams, Rams, Panthers, Cleveland, and Colts, were actually all top 7 in 3 receiver sets.
Well, Titans got a new coach, and Jacksonville lost their tight end.
That's true, but I don't know. I mean, like, did Strange not? You know what? I could look at week 1 if you wanted to know. But do you care about this? 3 receiver sets?
I think it would matter more if these teams were good.
So yeah, it's a mixed bag because 3 receiver sets means that like guys like Tank Dell get to play more, or the guys that move to the slot on 3 receiver sets get to go to the slot and be better, like Chris Godwin. But 3 receiver sets generally are also worse for wide receivers on a per route basis because there's more wide receivers out there to choose to target.
It's great for Traylon Burks.
Well, it's good for Christian Kirk. All right,
No,
and then
does not appear to be.
Jamison Williams, my last stat. Jamison Williams, ADOT's way down. It was 15.8 last year. It's 12.8 this year. Yak per catch, 8.6. And this is a guy who's had high ADOTs and pretty good yak before. 8.6 yak per catch on a 12.8 ADOT is insane. And his go route percentage, now he barely played in his rookie season, but just percentage of snaps that are go routes for him, 16.2% as a rookie, 23.2% last year, 13.6% this year. We do not want a lot of go routes. Jacob has opened my eyes to that. They're not great for fantasy. So I love the lower ADOT, super high yak, and I love the better routes, I'd say, for Jameson Williams for fantasy purposes. Okay. By the way, Jay, I was looking at the chat. Jay was the one who got Major League first. Someone is saying they beat him. Rob is saying they beat him. I'm going to call it a tie, Rob. You're right after him, what I see. But he wants to know Devin Singletary or Tank Dell this week. Devin Singletary or Tank Dell in PPR?
No.
Dell's got more upside.
Yeah, I'd feel dumber if I sat Dell.
Yeah.
I think I have Singletary projected higher probably, but
Giants played Washington last week. It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
No, I think that's that's mostly right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm exaggerating, but like it's just inflating.
That's more of a wide receiver and quarterback thing than it is a running back thing, though, isn't it?
No, I think. Well,
Everything.
yeah, Washington's really bad at
everything.
everything. Yeah. Yeah, and Tank Dell, like I was saying on Monday, you don't want to sit him, and he has 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's so bad. He's gonna be the new Tyler Lockett. Gonna drive people crazy. Ready to fill in the blank?
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right. From Jay, Patrick Mahomes is a top blank quarterback rest of season.
Still top 5.
8.
Ooh, that's bad, Jamie. Who's ahead of him?
Mayfield, Carr. No. Richardson. I'm going to say Burrow, Kyler, and Jane Daniels, and the other 3.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. He's about to play a third of the season minimum with mediocrity at running back.
That's certainly a reasonable suggestion, but we don't know if that will change the play calling or how they operate.
I'm almost positive it will change how they operate. He threw like 25 passes against Cincinnati.
Mark,
we had even one game with 28 passes moving forward.
Mark says Brian Robinson Jr. is going to be the RB blank the rest of season.
I don't think he's going to be Brian Robinson.
15.
Thomas.
22.
I currently have him as RB 21 rest of season in PPR.
It's a great start for him, but I think the Giants are going to they're going to be one of those teams where you start every running back against them. It's going to be in week 13, and be like, the Giants have allowed 17 or more PPR fantasy points to a running back in 8 of their last 9 games. Like that, just book it. Kevin says
Maybe his better game though came against the Bucks.
Well, because he scored.
Yeah, but
still over
his,
100 yards.
His better points came against Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Kevin said, yeah, but he had like 12 carries for 40 yards in that game.
And was more involved in the passing game too.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing, right? That's the thing about what I said, Jaden Daniels. He can't complete the ball downfield. He's averaging less than 3 yards in the air per completion, 3 air yards per completion. So it's benefiting Robinson and Eckler. All right, Kevin, if we were drafting today, Nico Collins would be the blank wide receiver taken.
Do we know everybody that got hurt?
Yeah, I guess so.
7.
He's exactly 7th right now on the trade chart. I still think he would have gone 8th if we were redrafting today.
I was thinking higher than that. So can you read me the 6 names before Nico Collins?
CeeDee Lamb,
Agreed.
Justin Jefferson,
Agreed.
Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown. End of list. Now you can put Marvin Harrison ahead of him as well, and then he's 8.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I'm less sure that Tyreek Hill and AJ Brown should be ahead of him.
Okay.
But I'm not saying they shouldn't. Those are the ones that I'm questioning.
All right, here's Kevin. Oh no, here's Freeway Footballer. J.K. Dobbins will finish as RB blank on the year.
On a per game basis or total fantasy points?
Total.
22.
Yeah.
21.
Could end up being like 31.
I'm the high guy on J.K. Dobbins. Yes.
Michael says the player drafted in the first round next year who had the lowest 2024 ADP is blank.
First round?
Yep.
Oh boy.
That's a great
Jordan
question.
Jonathan Brooks.
Ooh, I like that one.
I was thinking that, but I mean, that's a stretch. I don't think he'll be a first round pick, but I was thinking that. It's a good call.
Malik Neighbors.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Cam Ward and Malik Neighbors.
I mean, if he keeps this up, Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin, maybe, yeah.
At his age, you take him in the first round?
I don't think
We took a 30-year-old wide receiver in the first round this year.
Yeah,
He'll be 29 next year.
faster.
Yeah,
than
but that 30-year-old receiver is a little different.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to read some emails. Before we do that.
Brock Bowers.
Oh.
Brock's not a first rounder.
Yeah, you never know.
He finishes a top 3 tight end. Don't be surprised.
A first rounder?
No, we're having fun with this.
You know I love Bowers more than anybody, but I don't even think that.
Guys, I'm playing poker tonight. Any tips? Should I wear sunglasses?
I do, but I'm not.
And a hoodie.
You played with your softball buddies?
Yeah. So I was thinking instead of sunglasses, I would wear
Always bunt.
one of those.
Bluff. Sorry.
Yeah, you know the glasses with the fake nose and the mustache. That would be fun. Like put them on. Hold on.
You have the mustache
marks.
Yeah, one of those.
See, I think after they watch you play softball, they're not going to believe you if you bluff. I think you got to play it pretty tight.
Okay. All right. I'm actually a very lucky poker player. Like I have no skill, but I win a lot. It's very lucky poker player. All right. Jake and KC says Sunday pregame on YouTube. I was watching and Heath being flustered because his parents had to set their lineup was the funniest thing of all time. The fact that they wanted to drop Evan Ingram, then used him getting hurt in pregame warmups as justification for why he should have been cut is something we can all relate to when trying to coach people through fantasy football decisions when they're new to it. I forget what the other thing was that made Heath's parents think he's a terrible fantasy football analyst, but it was hilarious.
It was sitting Xavier Worthy in week 1.
Oh, yeah. I personally would like regular updates on how their team is doing.
They are currently 0-2 and the highest scoring team in the league, so they think this is the dumbest game that was ever invented.
That's so funny. This is from Rills. Would you trade Garrett Wilson and Jamison Williams for Davante Smith and Malik Neighbors?
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson and Jamison Williams for Davante Smith and Malik Neighbors.
No.
No.
Unless AJ Brown's out for a significant amount of time.
Okay, from Joshua in Kentucky. Should I drop Brock Purdy for Carr or Mayfield?
Yes.
Sure.
Which one?
Mayfield first.
Okay. From Davin. I'm 2-0. I traded with an 0-2 team. I gave up Marvin Harrison Jr. and Joe Mixon.
Ooh.
I got Tyreek Hill and Zach Moss.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not good, right? I don't think you can do that.
Not great.
Well, he did it.
I'm giving it a D.
Can we talk about you changing the waiver rules, day again in the league?
Yeah, I can put that back up.
Yeah, what's the big deal? I put it to Wednesday instead of Tuesday because
you wouldn't reset waivers last week after it ran.
This is nothing. This is a nothing. I did the right thing.
No, you're cheating.
I'm not cheating.
You changed it to Tuesday for week 1 so that you could get the guys you want when nobody knew it was happening. And then you changed it back to Wednesday for week 2.
I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, I'm in a lot of leagues, so I might, and I'm old. So my mind gets a little fuzzy. Darnell Mooney was available on the first run of waivers, right?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I think he was.
I don't know. Look, I don't want to do this anymore. This is from Gavin.
Just admit you're wrong.
No, I made a mistake in week 1. I didn't change the rules. I made a mistake in week 1. Everybody.
I don't think you made a rule change.
I'm getting killed in the chat. Gavin, should I trade Alvin Kamara for Kyron Williams and Cooper Kupp in a PPR league?
No. Oh no. Good. What is no?
You think that's that bad?
Yes.
For Cooper Kupp, who may miss weeks,
and Kyron Williams.
Kupp might not come back. Who the heck knows?
Yeah.
No. If it was Kyron and another receiver, that's better. Yes.
All right. This is an important email I have to read to end the show from Gil. He says, "Dear Johnny, Bam, Steve-O, and Wee Man." That's jackass. Adam, bold start by introducing Jamie and his healthy groin. Since y'all were joking about come for the fantasy advice, leave with a prostate exam, I want to ask for a plug for Prostate Health Awareness Month happening now in September. Back in December of 2023, I, at 55 years old, was celebrating my fantasy bowl championship thanks to guidance from this show. I also went in for a routine checkup. That was the start of a journey that led me to an aggressive stage 4 prostate cancer diagnosis. I'm in treatment. It is not fun, but my medical team is optimistic about me beating this. Had I not gone in for a routine checkup, I'd be in a very different situation. Men in their 50s or younger, if there's a family history, can get a simple PSA blood test. Fantasy football has been a great distraction during this rough time. Anyway, thanks for the great show. And if you can plug Men's Health, that would be awesome. So from Gil, who is currently kicking cancer's ass, to all of you out there, all of you men in your 50s or earlier, if you have family history, get checked out. We'll leave you with that little PSA. And we're rooting on Gil and happy to be a good distraction for you in this time right now. Thanks, everybody. And we'll talk to you tomorrow on Fantasy Football Today. We also have CBS Sports Network show today at noon, right? Noon?
Yep.
Noon Eastern, CBS Sports Network. See you later, everyone.